Hi, a very good morning. It's Vikram here, and this is one of the third, papers we're going to cover. Excellent paper by PwC. So it's basically on, the fraud in 2022, that they have covered, and some amazing insights. So I think let's quickly jump into it. So the first thing is that what I loved is that it's basically almost 111 companies, and out of which almost 70% plus are the C-level, so they know the top view what exactly is happening down the line, and then half of them, that means almost 55 companies are $1 billion revenue companies. So that means that's a very good, I would say, kind of pool that they have gone into. Now the key. So this is for the snapshot. What has happened. So in a way, if you look at it, 5% of the companies have got fraud which is more than 50 million, which is extremely high, and obviously 40% have got something from 50,000 to about $1 million. So but this figure is extremely high. And then if you really look at it, the essence over here is that 95% of companies have experienced fraud, and obviously which we have discussed in earlier parts also, and then 60 to 67% have companies have been frauded, and I think this is what the in general experience is. Now, what is most interesting about this report is that they have kind of looked at the different categories, and then the first one, I would say, which you really look at it is that because of COVID, a lot of companies have started using more platforms because they wanted to digitize things. So on average, there are 5 platforms that they are using. Now that, I think obviously what you have done is that if you had 1, now you have 5, that means your exposure has increased. That means you're more at risk. That means you're actually, because you're using 5 different platforms, so that means there is more things that can go wrong, right? And then when you look at it, again, this is very, very interesting. That is 57% of incidences have happened through a platform fraud. Now, platform fraud is basically where you have all these different combination of platforms, like from social media, network, and all these kind of things that you have to look into, and then using those platform knowledge, that's the way the fraud has started happening. So fraud accounts to the 64% of the frauds that are happening in India. So platform fraud, let's say from social media, from Twitter, or I would say Insta, or your Facebook, Meta, you're able to find out certain details, and then using that, hackers are trying to create that. So that's where the platform fraud is coming in. And now, again, a very interesting slide over here. So I'll just move myself away. So the platform frauds essentially are happening. 64% are mostly through the account takeover. So that means they have found out the email ID, found out something, and then they have gone in and taken over an account, and then possibly they have cloned the device or cloned the SIM. I know that's another one, because most of your OTPs and all that still are the old generation, text messages. So that's the another one which is on, very high. And then synthetic identity. Again, synthetic identity is where you create, a fake identity, using a different ID or using, a different face, and then you try to fraud it. Again, it's still much lesser, but 42 is very high. Then using malware, phishing and spoofing attack, and ransomware. So this is the way they are trying to, conduct the fraudulent activity, which is 67%. And then lastly, transaction laundering. Now, transaction laundering is very interesting, because transaction laundering, what it means is that a fraudster, what they do is that they create a fake website like a merchant, and they will ask those genuine people to give their information over there. So it's a PSP kind of attack where you yourself, are giving away the information, thinking that the person or the company is genuine, right? And which is where we all get tricked very easily, right? And especially online, is very, very easy to do. And the next is, so 89%. Can you imagine that 89% of fraudulent transfers are happening through these platforms? Okay, pay me through Facebook, pay me through this thing, or pay me through WhatsApp payment. So a lot of fraud is happening through that. So because we are using more platforms, we are exposing ourselves more. So hackers are also using those platforms to actually, kind of trick the people. Then unauthorized fraudulent transactions. That means card and digit number if they have cracked it or leaked out. And then unauthorized transactions or the removal of the data. And then victim-initiated fraud. So over the phone call, they will say, okay, this, and all that. They will give you some rate, give you 10, 20, $100 first go. And then they will say, okay, you invest $1,000, we will give you $2,000. You invest $2,000, we'll give you $10,000. And this is where people are willingly, giving away their money, because these are basically scams, right? And there's no stopping of that, but 89% of that, right? And very quickly, these are the industries that are being covered. Again, so obviously, if you have to combat it, a very interesting report where they are saying is that the financial losses and all these, so 93% are getting lost. So main thing over here, if you look at it, is that collusion between the internal and external perpetrator, insider internal sources is 41, which is extremely high, right? So this is where I think we have to look into the systems, that what is happening, and then obviously brand damage, which you all know, regulatory action, because of penalty and fines that are caused because of the negative, and then loyalty gets challenged, right? So the negative. So 77% is where it is getting impacted. So it's huge. If you really look at this report, it's crazy. The numbers are crazy. I am kind of, I myself, I'm shocked, looking at these numbers, that it's quite a sad state when it comes to that. And mostly, I think we have to stop it. So obviously, PwC has given 4 things that they feel that that could be there. So firstly, we have to elevate the platform risk management to the to the risk officer, or the risk chief risk officer. Second is, obviously, they are saying that you have to look at the what exactly is happening outside. So anyway, I'll make this, this report is available. I'll try to put some screenshots, but you can go and just search for it. It's a public report, so you can get access to that. So over there, they're talking about that if the negative media coverage is being done, use watchdog websites which are talking about it, so that way you can actually pick up some information what is going wrong. And then obviously measure, monitor, and control, the standard formula. So looking at what is at risk, which platform, what kind of things. So I've just done a report for one of the banks for for the chat bot, if they want to onboard customers or do balance inquiry and transactions and all that, then what exactly is at risk from the social media aspect, right? So something very similar what they're talking about here. And then be risk aware. Obviously, I think whatever we do, there is a certain level of risk associated. So let's say, this wall collapsing on me, there's a risk, right? But what is the chance of it happening? Minimalistic, right? Practically, impossible or none. So we have to look at that part, and that's what they are highlighting. So these 4 things are very well put across. Elevate the responsibility, stay vigilant, then obviously monitor, manage, monitor, and control, and lastly, be aware, be risk aware. And then obviously, it talks about it. So I think great work by Puneet and team. So I think I just want to highlight to you guys is that when we are looking at this particular report, the numbers are quite crazy, and I think situation should improve this year. But you can see how hackers have also used COVID, and they have really got rich by doing the scams, by doing the wrong things, by attacking these platforms. Where gullible people are actually giving away their information and falling trapped to that. I know many people who have actually given away their information and then actually lost quite a bit of I would say money. The financial impact is quite deep, and you feel quite victimized. So let's not do that. So let's be more aware. Let's be more vigilant. Let's have the right risk assessment being done for these platforms and then taken ahead. So again, signing off, a great report by PwC. Thank you so much, and I'll be keep on posting it more. Yeah, thanks. I hope you like it. Yeah, and do share your comments, under the post that I make. Cheers. Bye.